This Kevin Hart roast really made me realize that like we're really all just trying our best. It really put into perspective because these were celebrities. And real quick, not to say I'm not hating on the roast. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it. I watched. I think it was like 2.5 hours. I think that shit was mad long and did not need to be that long. And I think a lot of people really didn't need to be up there. There were a lot of weird decisions in terms of like, let's put this guy, let's put this girl up. A lot of that shit could have been cut, but whatever. It really put into perspective because a lot of the celebrities that were coming out to speak were being like, yeah, I know you're probably wondering what I'm doing here. I'm here to get the money. I'm here because I need the check. I'm here because I need to get paid. Like, when was the last time you heard a celebrity say that? I'm starting to hear celebrities talk like that now, where they're just like, yeah, I'm doing it for the check, ain't that right? I need to get that check. I need to, like, they're not on this high pedestal that we put them on, where we're like, oh, I'm sure that guy's probably living this life of luxury. It's like, oh, you hurting too, brother? You hurting too? We're all just doing what we can do to get by in these rough times. And that was my takeaway from this roast. It was, do what you got to do to keep moving forward, because life is tough for all of us. So in a way, it makes you feel better about your own journey in life, because it's like, yo, it's not just you. You're not the only one struggling. Cat Williams also said, yo, I need this check. Let me show up. I'm not turning this check down. I'm sure he did not want to be there, and that was hard to watch, because I could tell that Cat and Kevin both were still like angry at each other. It didn't seem like they really squashed that beef. I hope they did. I hate seeing comics beef. As a comic myself, I really have no problems with nobody, and I love that. And I have other comic friends that got problems with other comics, and it's like, we're all in this together. We're all doing our best. So I hate seeing that, because Kat and Kevin, they're both like some of the greatest comedians of all time. They're both hilarious comedians, and damn, would it be great to see them in a movie together. Or it would be great to see them do like a little show together, like a quick series or something. Like, see them work together. Me being Latino, like, I love to see my people come together, and I know the black community feels that way as well. Where they're like, yo, we don't want to see two black men fighting on stage. I think Kevin Hart said that in front of all these white people, which is very true. We gotta behave in front of white people, especially when they sponsor these events. You could tell so many people on that stage were uncomfortable. Even the people sitting down, like, they didn't even have any speaking parts, were getting uncomfortable at certain parts throughout this event. You could just tell. And it was so funny because, Netflix is what, $1 billion company? I don't know how much Netflix is grossing, but I'm sure it's up there. I'm sure it's a lot of money. They got all this money, but you can't hide people feeling weird. You can't hide people feeling uncomfortable. You can see some of these celebrities. I'm not going to, say who. You tell me who you thought looked uncomfortable. But you can see these people just like... And a lot of that could be resting bitch face. I have resting bitch face. I have it really bad. Like, I'll watch myself in a video and I'll be like, yo, I look furious. Here's a clip. My birthday just passed and the whole restaurant was singing happy birthday to me. One of those moments where, like, the lights were down low and they had the candles sparking and everything. And in my head, I'm just like, I'm calculating, the bill we just paid. I'm calculating what we're going to do after. Like, I'm thinking in my brain. But my face reads, I hate all of you. I can't believe you guys are all here for my birthday. You assholes. Oh, you're here to celebrate me? Like, that's what it looks like. So I have that resting bitch face, and I know a lot of us have that problem in life. So it could be that. Maybe these people on that stage just had that resting face, and they don't know how to, maybe they're just not aware that they look like that. I don't know, but I would think, being a celebrity, you think you get some type of media training, some type of like, hey, remember, you got to smile. I would think that they tell, especially celebrities with resting bitch face, hey, you in particular, you got to remember to smile, okay? I'm your publicist. I'm going to tell you got to start smiling more, okay? Make that a default face. I would have thought they would have been trained. Therefore, I'm telling myself, oh, they might actually just be pissed or uncomfortable, because I'm sure they're past that stage in life where they're like, oh, I didn't even know I had resting bitch face. Like, you figure that out when you're 12 years old. You got to communicate these things to people. And they were communicating to us, the viewers at home, that they didn't want to be they didn't want to be there. But it puts into perspective that people of all levels, of all walks of life, of all types of incomes, these are people that have millions of dollars in their bank account, and they also are like, oh, I gotta do this, I guess. I think it's so funny because I feel like we're seeing a lot of celebrities say shit like, I need the check. Back in the day, I feel I feel like there's a little bit more professionalism to how celebrities carried themselves, to how these like movie stars and actors and comedians carried themselves in front of the public. When they spoke to the public, they were like, oh, I am passionate about this film. And it's like, we know you're not, but at least you're trying to give us some type of. Nowadays you just see people being like, well, I'm gonna turn down that check. But that wasn't a thing back in the day. They never said that. I think probably what would have made it better is if more people would have established their relationship to Kevin Hart. That way we kind of would have been able to make sense of, okay, I see why they're there. And some of them did that, but then some of them I was like, why? Like, I think we're all wondering the same thing. Why the fuck are you there? Like, did you walk on? Like, is it like college basketball or college football where you could just walk on to the roast? They had like roast auditions that same day, and some comedians got cut, and some people were like, oh, he's good enough, put him on. He has some funny jokes. Could have been that. Maybe they had walk-on roast auditions. It was so funny because you would see the roasters. They were lined up in their sofa, and then there was a row behind them, and the people behind them were not going to speak that night. Which I will say, they put Tiffany Haddish in one of those back rows, and I don't think a lot of people realized that she was not a roaster. A lot of people probably were dying to see Tiffany Haddish make some jokes, especially since her and Kevin have done a few projects together. So they probably were like, yo, I'm waiting on Tiffany. My mom probably was one of those people. My mom was probably one of those people who was like, I can't wait to see what Tiffany's gonna say. Tiffany's gotta fuck him up. This is gonna be fun. And she don't speak the whole time. They gotta put a little disclaimer. It really stood out to me because you would notice that there were some jokes that were making people uncomfortable. And I'm not gonna say which jokes because I don't want to recite the jokes because I don't even want to say the words in those jokes. But there are a few moments there that like you could tell people were about to lose their career. I cannot wait to see what happens. I wonder, because this was very ballsy. This roast was very ballsy. Maybe PC is done, and if PC is done, I'd be a lot happier. Because it is a lot of silly stuff going on. There are still boundaries, of course. There's things that you can't be saying. But, if political correctness, if that time has come and gone, I think comedy is going to be a lot stronger, a lot funnier. But I don't know if it's gone yet. So, therefore, let's see who's going to get backlash for saying this, that, and the other. The Rock said that Draymond Green's name is retarded. Can you get in trouble for that? You can't get in trouble. Can't cancel the Terramana Man. But I just noticed many people were visibly upset. It kind of looks like the VIP section to every single club I've ever been to, where it's just a bunch of people with their drinks just looking around. Just like a lot of people were not laughing. Whenever you see dudes in the club just like looking around, it's never a good sign. It's always something of regret. What am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here, man? Why did I come out tonight? Spent all this money. I'm $400 deep and I don't got one chick next to me. God damn it, man. That fucking shit. That's unbelievable. If you're in that sofa, you're in that front row or the back row, like you guys are the audience for the roast. So when you're not laughing, us at home, we feel like, oh, is something wrong? Is something awkward happened? Like you guys gotta not look upset. Okay, especially if you're not talking. If you're not talking, all you gotta do is just smile. Just smile. Just media train these people to smile a little bit more because it makes it look awkward. It makes it look like, oh, look how uncomfortable she was. The whole fucking roast, she was so uncomfortable. You gotta media train them like cheerleaders. Cheerleaders, their whole career, they have to smile. I think that the biggest takeaway from the Kevin Hart roast is that we are all in more similar situations than we think. Some people got bigger houses. Some people look way better. Some people dress way better. Some people have private planes. Some people have even been on a private plane. I've never even been in Comfort Plus. I have one time, and it was because I was upgraded by accident. You would think at least the pedestal that society has taught us to put celebrities on has always been everything you do is damn near perfect, or at least we don't see your mistakes. We don't see your errors. That's why whenever you see a celebrity like do something silly, like walk out of a restaurant drunk, TMZ like is like, yo, look at Ice Spice walking out of her birthday party drunk. She can't even stand. Yeah, motherfucker, that's how you're supposed to celebrate your birthday. What would be weird is if she walked out of that sober. You celebrated your birthday till 2, 3 in the morning and you walked out sober. What kind of weirdo are you? You guys are the weird ones for being in the alleyway just with a camera ready, trying to catch this drunk woman. I mean, that's weird. Y'all motherfuckers are the weird ones. Society has taught us to look at celebrities through this lens of like, oh, I don't know what it's like to see so and so be vulnerable. But an event like this roast, really intense things are being said, and it's live, so you can't not use the camera angle that's already being filmed. Like, that person's gonna react whether you want them to or not. And we don't see a lot of that. We don't see a lot of, oh, this celebrity is being vulnerable right now, whether they choose to show it or not. I can see that they're nervous. I can see that they're uncomfortable. I can see, how red Tony Hinchcliffe's face is getting. I didn't know it could get redder than that. And you watch, and now you know these things about these people. Now you have these images in your brain of these celebrities feeling uncomfortable, which is new, that's something that we're just now starting to see because of like live events, because now we're making these events live, or people are recording celebrities in the street, so now all that stuff is happening. So now you're starting to see more and more, it's becoming more normalized to see someone of such high status feel like uncomfortable or like not want to be seen, like have that vulnerability. And because we see them like that, it kind of brings them down, not to our level, not that we're on levels, I mean, we're all equal, but it kind of brings them to a level that we can relate to them at. Because you see people on TV, you see people in nice cars and taking private airplanes and this, that, and the other. You can't relate to that shit. But when you see someone of that high status get embarrassed or feel bashful or be like even upset because they're being made fun of and they don't like that joke, it's like, okay, I can relate to that. Watching some of these comedians be made fun of and then get upset, I can relate to that a lot. I grew up in a Latino household. Every 5 words was making fun of somebody. I got made fun of. I still get made fun of. I don't even like going home because I get made fun of all the time. That's a lie. Yeah, I can handle it now. Growing up in a Latino household, you got a lot of thick skin because you used to everybody making fun of you. And that's how we communicate love. It's not out of hate. You just, yo, what up, big nose? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Hey, don't poke me. All right. Give me a hug, but you got to turn your head. Angle your head when you hug me. Like in the Latino community, you'll get called fat like it's nothing. We don't even process how painful it might be to call someone fat. That's not something we do. We don't think about other people's feelings. We just say, hey, gordo. And again, I enjoyed the roast. I think a lot of those jokes were funny, and if everyone had a good time, then that's good. I think some of them were a little extreme. Like some things I'm like, there were a few jokes that I'm like, that one is not even funny. Like not even on I'm offended type shit. Like, it's just not funny. Like, but it's also offensive. So it's like, not only is it offensive, but it's not funny. And I'm more upset that it's not funny. If you say something that's really funny and it's offensive, if it's funny, then we could talk about that. But you're being hacky and offensive. So there were some jokes that I felt that way about. But regardless, it was just very interesting to see how human these people are. Because, again, like, people worth millions of dollars, it's like you don't really see them as humans sometimes. I think a big part of it was because it was live. You couldn't edit emotions. You couldn't edit reactions. So it was like, hey, this dude is worth $1 billion, and he didn't like that. But that's there. That's out there now. You can't take that back. So in a way, this is good. In a way, it's very good for society to see celebrities as humans. Aside from the evil ones, a lot of these celebrities are just normal people, and that's why I like about comics. I love that about comedy, and I love that about being a comedian. Is that like as a comic, you could walk into a comedy club, you go into the green room of that comedy club because you're gonna perform there on a Tuesday night, in your past there as a comedian, and no exaggeration, dead ass Kevin Hart could walk in to do a set right before you, and now y'all are talking in the green room, and you work at the grocery store, and he's Kevin Hart, and you guys are having a conversation. You're about to do the same exact thing. You're both gonna do the same exact thing, which is stand-up comedy. Like, that's what I love about what we do, what comics do, is because comics are not really going to hit that level of comics. You have to be down to earth. There's no point in your career, so long as you remain in the stand-up comedy world, there's no point in that journey that is going to allow you to go too far up. You're always going to be somewhat grounded to earth. Of course, the comics that are selling out arenas and making millions and millions and millions of dollars are a little bit more detached from reality, but they still you have to have that in you to be able to talk to a regular person. Whereas, let's say, like, famous rock stars or famous movie stars, they don't really have to do that. They show up and they play their music, and they don't got to talk to anyone below them if they don't want to. Comics, you don't really have, you're going to be around other comics that are below you or above you in your career, and that's just the world that we come up in. So I really love that about comedy, and I really like that this roast put into perspective that, yo, we're just doing our best, man. Life is hard. We each get up every single day. We all suck our teeth. We're all like, ugh, let's do this. You know, it's like we all wake up with fears. We all wake up being a little anxious, being a little nervous, anticipating what's going to happen later tonight. This was really some everybody puts on their pants the same way type shit.